Once you have finished coloring, you have finished drawing your patterns, and you have added color, you can see orange, white, black, and I've brought in some brown on both the black pot and the tan pot. Once you are done with that, we are going to add a shadow to make it look more 3D. So if you look at this example, you can see that there's some shadows here and some highlights on this side, and that is because the sun is shining down this way. The sun is coming from this direction over here. You can also see that we will draw a shadow of our pot. So to do this, you are going to need both of your paper pots. You're going to need a charcoal pencil, a piece of chalk, and a tissue. What you're going to do is you're first going to actually draw the line at the top to make it look more 3D. So if you feel comfortable, you can do it right in charcoal, or you can go ahead and draw it in pencil first like I did. Then again, because our sun is on this direction, you're going to take your black charcoal, and you're just going to go right on the edge, pressing pretty hard, going right over your designs that happen to be there, making a line. You can do this on the back of your blue paper if you need to, or on a placemat, or just right on the table and we can wipe it off. We're going to go on just like that on that side. Then I'm going to go again next to it, but just a little bit lighter, not so dark, not pressing nearly as hard. Notice how it's just a line, it's not a big shadow. You want to make it look realistic. Then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take my tissue, and I'm actually going to blend it, kind of wipe it towards the center. Just a little bit. I'm going to move my tissue, continue blending in the middle, but I'm not going to go above that line, and you'll see why in a minute. I'm going to go in the middle, and I'm wiping it into the middle, and then I'm also going to wipe it off a little bit on the other side. Now you have that shadow. Now again, there's a highlight on this side because the light is coming in on this side. So this is where you're going to take your white chalk, and you're going to do the same thing on this side. If it turns a little bit gray, that's okay, from the black. I'm going to press pretty hard, going all the way down, all the way on the side. I'm going to take another part of my tissue, and I'm going to do the same thing and kind of bring it in. This one you have to be a little bit more careful because you can just wipe it off. If you do wipe it off, then you can kind of go back in and lightly draw that highlight on the pot. Now in the opening, it's going to be reversed. So if the sun's coming from this direction, the highlight is actually going to be on the opposite side. So I'm going to take my chalk on this side, my tissue, and I'm going to kind of blend it. Again, if you wipe it off, go ahead and add more. Then dark side is going to be on this side if it's inside the pot. Not pressing too hard. I'm going to go ahead with my tissue, clean part, and blend it in. I think I'm going to add a little bit more white. That way it looks more 3D. Okay, for a reminder, dark on this side as the sun is coming here, light on this side, and then opposite at the top. So go ahead and start your first pot. I will continue to do the second pot if you are confused, but go ahead and try it out quietly. Once you are done doing the highlights and the shadows of your artwork, we're going to glue it onto a nice back piece of paper, a blue piece of paper. So for this you're going to need a glue bottle and a pencil. The first thing you're going to do is you're going to write your name on this blue piece of paper. Somewhere obvious, in the middle, or near the top, big enough so we can see it. Then you're going to go ahead and flip it over. Now when you're gluing it on there, before you glue it on there, you want to have a nice placement. So you're going to have them overlap a little bit. Again, making them look more 3D and realistic. You don't want to have them overlap too much, as you've really taken your time and created nice patterns. I'm going to put the smaller one in the bottom, overlapping the bigger pot, whether that's black or tan, depends on your artwork. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to glue this one first. I don't want to put this upside down on this paper, so put it upside down on your table, as the charcoal may get on the blue paper. Make sure that the glue is open, and I'm going to just do a nice thin line around my pot. I don't want to get too close to the edges because I don't want it to smear on my blue paper. I'm going to go ahead and glue it, holding it, making sure it's and of course doing the same for my smaller pot, which will overlap my bigger pot. Once you have glued your pots, we have to make a table line, so it looks like it's sitting on something instead of floating. So this is where you need a ruler and your charcoal pencil. And I'm going to draw a line using a ruler for the table. Go as close to the pot as I can on both sides, like that. Now they don't look so much like they're floating. Now the next step is to draw the shadow. So for the shadow, remember the light is coming over here. That's why we have our highlights on this side of the pot. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to think about what part would be dark. Color it in. The best that I can. Mine's actually going off the page because of the location of the pot. After you've colored it in, you're going to take your tissue, find a clean spot, and you're going to smear it. Smooth it over so you can't see those charcoal pencil lines. Now I want to do the same for this pot, however, my shadow would really kind of be underneath this one. So I'm just going to draw the part of it. After you've drawn it, go ahead and smooth it out. Now you are finished with your Native American paper pottery artwork.